Okay guys, so we are back in the sewing room again, and today we get to play with this really nice Singer 128. This old and it looks this good. There's probably something wrong with it. What I've got here is just basically a gnarly mess. Okay, so it looks like I got everything pretty well worked out here. Everything's in the same kind of position as it was when we last saw it. It's just that now everything's kind of been reworked and fixed and cleaned up. So just as a recap, basically I got the back of the machine cleaned up and all the black stuff off of it. I took all of this apart and I cleaned up all of the black goo from all the melted wire insulation, got it all detailed and cleaned up so it's not a mess anymore. And then I took apart the light fixture and I ran new wire out of it with new connectors, crimped and soldered and heat shrunk, and then both ends and on the controller as well. I got new wires coming from the controller up through to here, and then the motor, I wasn't able to replace the wires like on a more modern motor like I wanted to. It's kind of a unserviceable as far as the wiring goes, but I was able to resolder and reconnect the broken wire inside of the motor. And then I have wrapped the wiring coming out of the motor just where it was a little crusty and a little suspect. So it's safe again as well. And then now, as you can see on the back of my plug-in, I've got all nice black, clean, new, heat shrunk, crimped and soldered connections here. So, and everything is all buttoned back down. And so it all looks really nice and looks clean and it looks safe and you can touch it all without getting black. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. So I am now ready to test it all. Before I mount it all back onto the machine, I would like to just test it. I did a lot of electrical work and a lot of rewiring and soldering, and I'd like to test it just to make sure that I haven't screwed something up, and I want to make sure it works before I put it all back together again. So I've got let's plug in my cord, and now I've got my standard Singer cord that's going to go into the machine. I should be able to plug this in as if this was on the machine, and hopefully no sizzling or smoking or shocking. And look at that, the light came on. Excellent. And it switches. I don't hear any sizzling. I don't hear any problems. I don't see any or smell any smoke. The light is good. Okay, the motor spins freely. I think I got that put together pretty well. And now I just need to see if I can test this controller. The controller here has I just need to mimic the knee lever coming on it, which is going to be pulling this tab out, and we'll see if the motor spins. Here we go. Ooh, it works. Yes. A little bit. Full blast. Slow it down. Mid. Excellent. Yeah. Whew, we did it. That was a wild ride, but it all worked out. Excellent. Okay, cool. So I'll unplug this now. And we have a fully revamped set of electrical equipment. This is all ready to install back onto the machine and get back onto our regular scheduled program. So let me get to that next. So I basically have all of the pieces of the puzzle here gathered up. What we're going to do is kind of just put this all back together again in the reverse order that we took it apart. And what I figured out, just what I learned and what I can help save you guys some time on, is this mechanism here, which is what actuates the controller with the knee pedal, the knee lever. It's easier to take out as a whole with the two mounting screws right here. This is what hooks to the knee lever and actuates the controller. I had taken this screw out to get it, I just loosened it to get room enough to wiggle out the controller, but then I didn't realize there was a nut on the bottom that you end up losing and you can't get it back on without taking this apart. So next time I would just take this off to begin with. Now this has to go back onto the controller as a whole, slipped in and then attached is the way I'm figuring this out. So anyway, what we've got is the base and the controller motor and light and the machine, and we're just going to kind of try to put this together again in the reverse order that it came apart. Okay, good. And that's that. We're looking good here. Got that, this, and this. Looking good. Okay, now let us see if I can confirm this working real quick. Plug it in again. The light works, and the knee lever perfect. Progress. Excellent. Okay, yep. That is one electrical system rebuilt and happy. All right, we are all put back together again as far as the electrical repair goes, so glad to be past that little hurdle there. But now we're down to, I think all we have left here is some basic maintenance, a little cleaning, a little oiling, and then we can finish the assembly of all this and maybe see if this beautiful little piece of equipment works. So first thing I want to do, I think, is I like to start at the bottom. Let me loosen up this hatch, lift this guy up. This machine does not need a lot of cleaning. It is not very dirty, but I will go ahead and just before I oil it, I'll make sure there's no dust bunnies in the mechanisms. Looks really good, hardly anything in here. I think this thing was shelved a long time ago because of the electrical issues it had. So, you know, no fun on having to fix all of the electrical stuff, but other than that, the machine is basically unused because of it. So there's always an upside, right? Okay, let me just oil a few of these little ports here. Closer for you guys. All right, anything that moves, basically, I'm just going to put a drop in. I have a hole up here, on the front, on the back, up here, over here. Feed dog assembly here. Drop on each side of that. I'm also going to put some in here on this drag assembly. And that feels really good. Okay, I like all that. Very simple machine, not a lot going on underneath, which is just fine by me. Okay, tighten on the lid. Good. Okay, let's start at the back where we can get a good look at the wheel. Okay, let me get the wheel back again. Now, let me make sure there's no dust bunnies involved. Also inside. Okay. Take and wipe this shaft off. This is a really important one to have clean and lubed because this works your clutch assembly. You can see kind of the gunk that's on that. It's not bad. I've done a lot worse, but yeah, it's nice to have these clean. And the wheel, it's just got some dust bunnies in there. This just collected dust from sitting. Okay, we'll give it a quick wipe down. And then we'll get inside here to the mating surface and give it a good wipe down. And this is kind of everything that came off of that. Not bad, but definitely want to have it be happy. So now we'll just take some oil here, put it across the top, take my finger and just work it around the shaft. Don't need a bunch, but we want to have some on there. Put a little bit more on my finger and then work it around inside of the wheel shaft housing. Okay. Wipe off the excess of my hand. Now this should just slip on like butter. There we go. Look at that spin. That is beautiful. It's still going. Look at that. If your surfaces are clean and it has a little oil in there, not a lot, just enough to keep it going, it is very, very happy. Okay, excellent. Now I can get this retainer ring in here. The nub's out. That's the way it came off. Now these are always a gamble. You're either going to get it right or you're going to get it wrong. There's a 50-50 chance. And so I'm going to try this way. This is what I'm thinking it might be. And then I will stick the clutch wheel back on. And then it's attached again and working. That's good. And what I want to do is just tighten this retainer nut down. It just sticks in far enough to hold, to get it stuck. And it looks like I guessed right. How do you like that? Disengaged, re-engaged. That's perfect. Okay, that part is done. Next, what I want to do is let's move around this way and just make sure that there's nothing going on in this bobbin winding assembly. Super, super clean. Very, very cool. I've got this tire. The outside's good. It's kind of ruffling up a little bit. Let me just rub off some of this rough edges. Kind of flake off some of the riffraff. And this thing should be just fine. It's definitely pliable and everything, so that looks good. We will attempt to get this inserted. Snap that into place. Now when I move this forward, it engages our cam and I open it up and it doesn't. So that's working. Moving right along. Next, what I want to do is just catch any dust bunnies that are stuck in my bobbin assembly. There's just not much going on in here. It's very simple. I don't think there's anything really wrong in there. Okay, let me get the turn a little bit more for you guys. I got that big chunk of dust bunny out of this feed dog assembly. And so there's not much left. Got a little bit out of there. This is where it collects, right? I think that's how you can tell if a machine's been used a bunch, is that the feed dogs are usually just jammed up with stuff. But these don't look bad. Okay. Next, what I want to do is let's go ahead and get this head assembly cleaned. It is got some gunk in there. Try to hold a light in here. You can see, oh yeah, we have major dust bunnies up in here. Oh yeah, this shaft has got all kinds of junk on it. Okay, I like that. Just take and just clean these rods a little bit. Okay, and down here, everything gets cleaned up really well. Okay, good. Now what I want to do is oil some of this in here. I'm going to drop just a touch around the foot assembly tensioner. Wipe off the excess. Okay, a little bit where this engages. Anything that's got a rotating assembly, and maybe just a drop in here as well. Okay. Trying to see in here. Oh yeah, right in there. There's a, get it from this side hole. Right there. Yeah. I like that. Good. Okay. Looks good. Okay. I like all that. Okay, good. That looks like that will take care of everything here. Good, let's move it around. Okay, coming in the back. Once again, just incredibly clean. Just make sure there's nothing hiding back in here. Okay, good. And then let me just see what I can loop up a little bit in here. If I can reach any more. No, I don't need that. Maybe a little bit on this side. Looks good. Okay, cool. I like all that. Okay, and then that gets me around back to the beginning. So what I want to do now is go ahead and catch the lube spots that are designated in here for this machine. And what we've got here is 2 main rod lube spots here. Couple drops in there, couple drops in there. Got it back here. I believe that I've got, should have that. There's one right here for the back of the main rod. I've got one here for the tire. And I think that that is it. I think that's all of them. Sorry, guys. It wasn't making a lot of noise, but it's quieter. It had a clickety-clack sound. Now it's just kind of a smooth operating sound. Just give it a few whirls and get that oil worked in. Excellent. Okay, very happy with all that. Okay, so that is the cleaning and lubricating. Next, we will get all of the trapdoors and decorative pieces on and see if we can't get this thing to string up and make a stitch. here we go. Guys, I'm looking around and I don't see any other parts unless I lost some, which has happened. I believe that that's it. I think we did it. I think we are all repaired and maintained. Listen to that. Oh, it's beautiful. Just need to get it threaded. I'll have to figure out how to thread it and get the bobbin loaded. These shuttle bobbins, I don't have the best luck with them. They're definitely a little trickier than like a 66 or 15 style bobbin, but I will figure it out and we will get this thing to stitch and get it working. So that is the repair, the maintenance, the cleanup, and the reassembly. Okay guys, I've got this thing all done and ready to go, and I got it all threaded up and tested, and it looks good. I got the tension top and bottom adjusted a little bit just so that it works real well. The belt I was able to find for it, if you remember, it didn't have a belt. The belt I was able to find for it is a little tight, so the speed adjustment, the speed control is a little bit iffy, but it's definitely good enough to test and show you guys how it works. So I've got a couple pieces of fabric here. I will give it a test on. Drop her down. Throw a couple of hand stitches in, and here we go, guys. Hit the knee lever and we are off. Beautiful. Let me just go. Come back, and what I'll do is I will adjust. This is on the biggest stitch length. Let me adjust the stitch length down a little bit, quite a bit. See what that looks like. Okay, run this off. Okay, give it a quick snip. Okay guys, here we go. Get a little more light on us here. And this is it, little and big. See what the back looks like. Not bad, I'm not seeing any loose problems or bird's nests or anything. This looks like a pretty decent stitch, I would say. I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. Look at that. Nice looking stitches. Runs like a champ. Sews right along like a little locomotive, a little typewriter. And I'm just really happy. It turned out good. It shined up real nice. It went together. I'm glad to have gotten through all that electrical work. I've learned a lot on this machine. It's slightly older and different than some of the other ones I've done wiring on, so I definitely learned a lot on this one, and I hope you guys enjoyed the process. I'm glad you guys came along. I've got probably, gosh, 35 or 40 more of all ages and vintage styles that need to be gone through one at a time and gotten up and running and tested, so I'd love it if you guys came along on that journey with me. So please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And remember, when it comes to sewing machines, you can never, ever have too many. See you next time.